Yeah, let's go. OTB Spreads Prediction Show, February 25th, 2026, with a 6-game NBA slate. We just wrapped up yesterday. We had Lakers -5. They sold us. We took the L. That was our lock of the day for NBA. Man, what a great game. Both teams were up 12 at one point. It was a back and forth game, 13 lead changes. Luka just did not look good, in my opinion. At the end of the game, when they had a chance to win it, to salvage us for our hedge play, he didn't do anything with the ball. He passed it off to LeBron, and LeBron does not shoot the ball like he used to. He's not the Miami Heat LeBron that can actually shoot the ball. He knocks down maybe one three-pointer a game if you're lucky. And yeah, that was not a good shot for them last night to win the game. But still, it's LeBron James, so you can't hate it. But man, it was a great day to start with soccer. We absolutely cashed the board, almost swept the whole damn thing, just missing a lotto that sold us on the corners. And then we moved into college basketball, where we absolutely ate. Obviously, our play of the day in college did not cash. We had Tennessee. Tennessee was up 10 early in the game and just let Missouri's physicality overwhelm them. The guard play, in my opinion, did not look good. The guard play just could not get downhill and get to the rim. And when they got people on their hip, I thought they passed it out too much instead of attacking the rim. That Barrett kid, he did a great job of attacking the rim. And then Missouri early on, the reason they were trailing is they couldn't knock down shots. The reason why they went ahead late in the game was because they started knocking some threes down. And that's the basis of it. Tennessee wasn't hitting shots and they weren't getting to the rim. That's a recipe for disaster. The only thing they were doing well was rebounding the ball. And they got so many second chance points. That's one of the reasons we like them, right? The size, physicality, but physicality, Missouri won that battle. Size, I think even Missouri won that battle. It's the reason why the guards were passing that ball off at the rim, because the guards just are a little bit bigger. But yeah, Tennessee didn't look good yesterday. Lakers sold us, but man, we did a really good job on soccer. And then our other plays in college basketball, we did a fantastic job. Going 8-3 on the YouTube video yesterday. Absolutely called the right spots. We just didn't have the right locks. So really, that's how it goes sometimes, guys. So let's get into it. With no further ado, OTB Spreads Prediction Show, February 25th. Let's get it. All right, first up on the board, we got the Oklahoma City Thunder going in to the Detroit Pistons in the Palace. Man, this is a tough one to call because the Thunder, you need to respect this team still. Even without SGA and Jalen Williams and AJ Mitchell, you know, all of these guys are still really talented players, and they showed that last night in Toronto. I said this. I said to a client last night, be careful taking Toronto. They are not as good as you think. They are good at home, and they win a lot of games at home. But Brandon Ingram, RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, at the end of the day, just aren't a match for even their bench players on the Thunder. These Thunder bench players from Case and Wallace, Aaron Wiggins, they obviously had Hartenstein going last night, Chet Holmgren going last night. All these guys are starters on other teams. You know, their bench players on the Thunder are deep. Jared McCain had a pretty good game last night, but got in foul trouble. I really liked what I saw last night out of the Thunder, and it makes me want to come back to the well, because Caruso wasn't supposed to play, and then he played, and he brought value to that team. When Caruso's playing, when SGA and those guys out, he brings a ton of value. Both of these teams are 7-3 against the spread over the last 10 games. And the Pistons actually have done a really good job at covering the spread against the Thunder in their previous matchups. Over the last 10 matchups, the Pistons have covered the spread 6 times. So they're hitting it at the spread at about a 60% clip. And then, you know, the Pistons just got the break speed off of them a couple days ago. And I think that they're in a spot now. They want to come back and probably play with some vengeance. And that's my take on this one. They're going to come in here. They're gonna play with some energy. But I just don't know if that energy is good enough. If Chet Holmgren's a go tonight, if Case and Wallace can play like he did, Isaiah Joe, Lugan Dortz, like if these guys can step up and play another game, you're giving me 8 points. I feels kind of steep for a Thunder team. We don't see this Thunder team get blown out a lot. They've had a couple spots this year where it's happened. Obviously, this is a spot on the road on a back-to-back where they could, and the Pistons have a day of rest. I'm going to have to fade it here, guys. I'm just not on board. I know that the Pistons are 20-6 over their last 26 games on the money line. They may win this outright, but I don't think they cover the spread. +8 is too many points. I'm going to want those in my pocket with this Thunder. The only thing that would scare me off of this would be if Chet Holmgren ends up not playing tonight. At the time of recording, it looks like he's a go. Also looks like Caruso's a go. Now, If those guys don't play, I would imagine this line moves up even more. But I want the points in my pocket here. I'm going to roll with the Thunder tonight, +8. Let's keep it moving. Next game up, Spurs going into Toronto to play the Raptors. Spurs are absolutely rolling right now. They're 6-0 on their last 6 games on the money line, 5-1 against the spread. They're 8-2 against the spread over the last 10 games. For me, the Raptors are on a back-to-back. Spurs got 1 day rest. There's a guy named Victor Wembanyama. He's on the Spurs side of the ball. And they also got this young athletic guard that can get downhill almost against anybody in Stephon Castle. You can't rule out De'Aaron Fox as being another great factor to this team. They share the ball so well that what they can do is they can outscore this team 2 to 6 points each quarter, I think, over the course of this game. And they pull away and win by double digits. Go ahead and give me the Spurs -7.5. I'm not going to overthink this one. I'm going to lay the points. I think the Spurs have been a money-making machine all year for us. I'm going to continue to ride that wave today, and I am not going to overthink this one. Give me the Spurs -7.5. Let's keep it moving. Next up, we have the Warriors going into Memphis to take on the Grizzlies. And the story of this game is injury report, injury report, injury report. Man, we have a ton of guys out, from Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry, Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford, all out for the Warriors. And then obviously on the Grizzlies side of the ball, Santi Aldama, John Morant, Cedric Coward, Brandon Clark, Zach Edey, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope out for the season, right? So many people out for this team. It's unreal on both sides of the ball. You've got over, I want to say, almost 12 players out for each side of the ball that most of them are starters. This is a hard call for me because of that. Like, the Grizzlies are 0-5 on the money line in their last 5 games, right? But in comparison to that, they've not been terrible against the spread. They're 6-4 against the spread. Today, they're getting 4 points. I don't feel like that's a ton. You know, this Warriors team can be streaky. We just saw them the other day pull the upset that we didn't expect them to pull. And now we're here in this spot. We're sitting here thinking, okay, they just beat the Nuggets. They're on a back-to-back. Grizzlies are on 1 day of rest. They're 6-4 against the spread. They're young. They're athletic. I really like this Grizzlies team at home to push the pace and find a way that this +4 comes in handy. I know that they just took a loss to the Kings and they didn't look sharp doing it, and they did it with this similar lineup. This Warriors team has some talent. They could come in there and they could win by 10 tonight. I wouldn't be surprised. But I just like the Grizzlies in this spot, being at home. They've been at home. They didn't have to travel to Sacramento. The Kings came to them. I think they get right in this spot, and I think they get a win on the money line actually as well tonight. But I'm going to take the Grizzlies here +4, and my reason being is I just think if you follow the money, all the money's on Golden State. 73% of the money is on Golden State on the spread, and then on the money line as well. So. Yeah, it's a lot of money on the money line for Golden State, and they're also heavy on the spread, man. So now the total looks like there's more on the over. Sorry, the over on this one. There's about 84% of the money on the over here. So honestly, I know the Grizzlies like to push the ball, but that's kind of a scary number for me because I see this game ending. My projected score is going to be 110 to 114. So that would give the Grizzlies the edge, and that's what the Grizzlies win in 114 to the Warriors 110, getting points as well, +4. I kind of like the under here. I know most of the money's on the over. I like the under here, and I'm going to take the Grizzlies +4. Let's keep it moving. Next up, we've got the Kings going into Houston. Houston's great at home. I know the offense hasn't been sharp, but man, this Kings team sucks ass. Give me the Rockets -14. I will not overthink this. I know they're 3-7 against the spread over the last 10, and the Kings are 4-6. They just won a game, their first game that in the last 17, I think they had lost like 17 straight, and the Kings had just got that win against the Grizzlies the other night. Part of me wanted to take the Kings, and I just, you know, that's overthinking it in this game. You can overthink a play, and honestly, that's a tank off. You know, who sucks more, the Grizzlies or the Kings? And the Kings have veteran leadership, and that's kind of where I was going with it. Is in the grand scheme of things, sometimes veterans are going to come up and win games against a younger team like the Grizzlies without scoring talent. You know, the Grizzlies just don't have a lot of scores right now. But, I'm looking tonight for those guys to get right. I just called them. I said +4. I think Walter Clayton and a couple of those boys are going to step up and have decent games tonight. Hopefully Ty Jerome's a go in that one. But in this game here with Kevin Durant, Albert Şengün, these guys being, 3-7 against the spread, that to me, there's some concerns here because Houston's offense has been terrible. They have just not been efficient. They're not rebounding the ball as well as they used to. They're shooting 45% from the field. That's not hateful, but it's not great either, right? And I would love to see their three-point percentage come up because if you look at the metrics here today against the team they're playing against, the Kings actually have a better field goal percentage. They have a better three-point percentage. They have a better free throw percentage. So what is it that Houston's really good at? I mean, they're just not – they average more points per game, Houston's defense early in the year was kind of what kind of gave them that spark, and that just hasn't been there, Amen Thompson's not playing tonight. Steven Adams is out for the season. I think he was an X factor in for them so much. Obviously, Kings shut down Sabonis and Levine for the year. I'm on the fence here. I think I said at -14. But if this line moves off of that at all, I'm comfortable going to -15.5. But if it goes any higher than that, I'm going to have to get off the Rockets. I think Kevin Durant and Şengün step up tonight. They get it going. This team could really use a point guard. That's what it is. They need a point guard. Amen Thompson's not a point guard. Kevin Durant, he's not a point guard. They don't really have a guard out there. You know what I mean? They need Van Fleet back on the floor, and they need Amen Thompson. This team would be elite consistently if they had those two guys out there healthy. But Amen Thompson's not the guard. It's Van Fleet. They need Van Fleet out there. Yeah, man, that's where I'm at. Let's go Rockets -14. Let's not overthink it. I'm not saying it's the best play on the board, but that's where I'll put some money. I'll sprinkle a little bit on that -14. I'll probably have it in a parlay or something. All right, let's go. Next up, let's get it. All right, next up, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers going into the Milwaukee Bucks, who are currently on their homestand. They are on a back-to-back. They just played last night, but in this instance, they are at home, no travel. Cavaliers, they also just played. They're on a back-to-back, so they're on the road. I know Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, a little bit older, but man, these guys, they are true veterans, and they are gelling right now. 5-1 on the money line. They are 6-4 against the spread. This team is really playing some good ball right now. And then on the injury report, they don't really have anybody out. I mean, Max Strus, but what is that? And the same with the Bucks. They only got Giannis out. He's questionable, but he's not going to play tonight. So, end of the day, Bucks 7-3 against the spread, getting 8.5. It feels a little steep. This team's been rolling. Kevin Porter Jr. has been playing better. Ryan Rollins, Kyle Kuzma, Miles Turner, all those guys have actually been playing pretty decent ball. Bobby Portis, can't forget him. Team's been playing pretty darn good, man. Like I can't deny that they've found something right around the All-Star break. I don't know if it was Giannis saying he's coming back and now they feel like they've got something to play for to try and stay in the hunt. But this Cleveland Cavaliers team, man, ever since they got it together, they have just looked fantastic. And the thing that scares me about Cleveland is they don't win close games. I've always said this. It's like if you're going to go against Cleveland on then you might as well just go money line. Typically, you know what I mean? Like unless it's like a double-digit spread, like you might as well go against Cleveland on the money line because Cleveland doesn't cover a lot of single-digit spreads. Like if it's a minus, I don't know, 4.5 or something like that. Unless they blow them out, it's weird. Like Cleveland's such a weird team. It might be a minus 4.5 that you take on Cleveland, like the other day, right? Against the Knicks, it was -4 just yesterday, and they blew the Knicks out. That's exactly the brand of basketball. It's not relevant. The +4 doesn't become relevant because they blow teams out, or that +4 becomes relevant, or you don't even need it at all because the other team blows them out. Like if you just go back and look at the Cavs games over the course of the half the season, most of the time when they win, it's by double digits, and most of the time when they lose, it's by double digits. They don't really have these single-digit spread games that come in handy at all. It's weird. And that's just the brand of basketball with them. But with James Harden there, Jared Allen, all these boys playing, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, who do the Bucks really have that can hang with those guys on a consistent basis? The only thing that I could see keeping the Cavs from covering this number is if they don't shoot the ball well. If they don't play well shooting, they're 48% on the season. They're shooting the ball at a high clip, and I think that number's jumped, especially recently. The Bucks just don't have that. Bucks shoot 35% from three. They're 45% from the field. I just said Cleveland's 48% and 37% from three. Those two metrics right there alone, if they shoot the ball well, they will win by double digits. Go ahead. I'm going to lay the points here. I don't absolutely love it because I think the edge kind of goes to the Bucks on this one. If they can keep it within arm's reach most of the game, the Bucks could cover this spread. But I think that they're the favors in a blowout here. Minus 8.5 feels like the Cavaliers are going to come in here on a back-to-back, get the job done, get it handled, and continue to win. It's not a look ahead spot. So I'm going to go with the field goal percentage, the better players, the James Harden, the Donovan Mitchell against this Bucks team. They're going to go in there and they're going to win it by 12 tonight. So minus 8.5, lay the points. All right, last game of the night. We've got the Boston Celtics going into Denver. They're playing at elevation, taking on the Denver Nuggets. Nuggets laying minus 3.5, minus 4, wherever the line shakes out. This is a tougher one to call as well. This isn't an easy slate tonight. It's a short slate, 6-game slate, but they have some sharp and tough lines. We don't know what type of Celtics we're going to get. They're on a back-to-back, and man, they're fucking hot. This team is playing well. Jaylen Brown, I've said it all year long, has looked like the best player on the floor. He didn't play yesterday, and I believe that's because they were looking ahead to this game to get him out there, get him a day's rest. They know they're on the road. They're going into the Mile High City. Celtics are 8-2 against the spread, and the Nuggets are 3-7. Nuggets haven't played that great a ball recently. They kind of had an identity issue going on right now. It's Jamal Murray and Jokic and nobody else. That doesn't breed well for those guys to compete tonight. It's hard to say. You know, we looked at that the Nuggets, you know, a week or two ago in a spot against the Trailblazers. Trailblazers getting like 12.5 points, and they get blown out by 40. You know, and then the Nuggets turn around and they lose to the Warriors without pretty much anybody. Podziemski just torches them in the fourth quarter. This Nuggets team is a hard one to call, you know, and you don't know what Jokic you're going to get. He hasn't looked like the Jokic that we're accustomed to. I know he's still getting you 8 assists, you know, 10 rebounds and 25 points almost every night, it feels like, but it doesn't feel like he's commanding the game. That's the thing. He's still getting his stats, but it just doesn't feel like Jokic is commanding games like he had. And I just don't know if that's because they're able to kind of focus in on him a little more because of the lack of role players out there. You know, Aaron Gordon's not out there. Christian Braun's been in and out off the floor all year. Peyton Watson's hurt now. Jalen Pickett, all of them. Julian Strother, I think, is going to go tonight, but he was probable. Jamal Murray's been dealing with a hamstring issue. For the most part, outside of Jason Tatum, this Celtics team's healthy. I'm going to have to take the Celtics here tonight. Give me the plus 3.5. I want it in my pocket. I know they're on a back-to-back. This is going to come down to one thing and one thing only, in my opinion. This is where the difference in the game is. Denver, better down low. They've got Jokic. I don't know if Keta can hang with Jokic. Who's going to be on Jokic tonight? Jaylen Brown, best player in the NBA, in my opinion, right now. He is absolutely on fire. This Celtics team, if they shoot at their normal clip right around 37% from three, they will run away with this thing. Let's see. They're on a back-to-back. If they're tired, playing at mile high, playing at elevation. But I'm going to just have to go Boston here, plus 3.5. Denver's been too inconsistent for me. Like I said, they're 3-7 against the spread, and their spreads haven't even been that tough to cover. They haven't. Other than that one against the Trailblazers, which looked like it was their toughest one to cover, and they won by 40. You know, all the other ones they've been struggling with recently. And this is one of those games they may struggle. This team is really good, and they're looking sharp. They're looking like an Eastern Conference Finals contender. I don't think they get to the finals, but then again, they may. Look, the Knicks, who I like a lot out of the East, struggling right now. Detroit is inconsistent because you don't know what Cade Cunningham you're going to get. Some nights Cade will give you a fucking 30 bomb on points, and the next night he'll get you 17. That Cade can't show up in the playoffs. They need Cade Cunningham. Duncan Robinson's been a great addition for the Pistons. You know, he's shooting the ball well. But then again, this team, Boston, since they got it together, you know, halfway into November, they kind of turned the corner right around then. They haven't really looked back. They've been consistent. When Jaylen Brown is healthy, They play really well and they shoot at a high clip from the field, almost 48%. So I'm going to have to go Celtics here, guys, plus 3.5. And that's the last game of the night. That's where we go. Let's get it. Let's go. All right, my ballers, that's the show, and it's brought to you by Kalshi, legal in all 50 states. I ask, if you don't have Kalshi, go ahead and use the code ONTHEBALL, ONTHEBALL, on the ball at Kalshi. Download the app, sign up, deposit 10, get a free 10. And once you do that, feel free to shoot me a DM, as I do have a supercomputer that will give you the best plays that are being betted by the top wallets on Kalshi daily. All right, that is in my free chat. But man, great show, great takes. Eager to see what the NBA holds tonight, because these spreads, I believe, are tight. Let's see if we're on the right side of things. I really do like that Celtics play tonight, and I do like the Spurs. I think the two better teams tonight on the floor get it done. Give me the Spurs on the money line. Give me the Celtics on the money line together on a little two-leg. Let's see what we can do with that. And guys, we're off and running. We're booking the one way, and we're going to have a phenomenal midweek Wednesday. I'll see you in the winner's circle. Let's go.